We are live once again, ladies and gentlemen, for another edition of NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 at the Phoenix International Raceway for the Chevy Silverado 150 Craftsman Truck Series Racing for the custom schedule season. And we head to race number 12. Just 12 races to go heading into this one. 11 more when the checkered flag falls tonight in the quest for the championship for yet another custom schedule season on this game. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We do full race live commentary, live streams for NASCAR video games, real races on the NASCAR weekends as well when that ends up starting up again next month. Thanks everybody for tuning in, of course, as always. And without further ado, let's just get into this race here tonight. So, well, I should say, first and foremost, I did have to flip-flop dates around. I tried to let you guys know in the community tab today, as well as at the end of the stream last night, that I was likely going to be running this Craftsman Truck Series race tonight instead of tomorrow. So then what we were originally supposed to run tonight, or aired tonight, was going to be the premiere for the Southern 500 on NASCAR 21 Ignition for the career mode on that side of things. I have not finished recording it yet. Hopefully I can get it done. I'm not going to be able to get it done tonight either with having to work tomorrow. The hope is if I can get home from work early and I'll finish recording it, and hopefully I have it edited before 8 o'clock tomorrow. But by the time YouTube does its processing, I mean, who knows at that point. We'll figure it out. Along the way, I will do my best to get it done, as you guys know. So I guess the quickest way to get it done is by getting this race done. So let's hop into it. Bill Lester will be starting on the pole. Bobby Hamilton Sr. will be starting outside of the front row in second. Green flag is in the air, and we're underway at Phoenix. Bill Lester going to lead the field into the dogleg on the backstretch. Oh, and clipped! Contact between Aaron McGee and Bobby Hamilton. McGee got pinched, I believe, because he was in the middle lane, 3 wide with Doug Thompson on his inside. And Bill Lester is going to lead lap 1 at Phoenix. No audio? Gosh darn it. Audio's working for you? Let me listen real quick. 1 at Phoenix. Yeah, the audio's working on my end. I believe. As always. And yeah, I think we're good. We're good. Thanks for at least giving the fair warning, though. I believe the audio is all right, though. I shouldn't have paused it in the middle of the corner. All right, we're good. I was at the point where I was supposed to get back in the gas anyway, luckily. And back to racing. Patrick Shatley, Jerry Faznat, welcome to the stream. Lester now going to lead the first 2 laps. Travis Quaffle looking for the lead. Quaffle looks like he about overdrove turn 1. Hamilton to the inside. Quaffle looked a little bit as if he was going to go to the bottom. Hamilton off the curb, loses a bit of ground. Lester able to hold on to the lead. We know track position means a lot at Phoenix. The races we saw here last season for the Truck, the Busch, and the Cup Series, it seemed as if it was hard to pass the leader. And it's going to be a difficult time right now for Travis Quaffle to make this pass work. But I guess he pulled it off. He's clear off the exit of turn 2 with ease. Hamilton going to send it into turn 3, trying to dive to the inside of the 22 truck of Bill Lester. He's there. And Quaffle will get 5 bonus points, leading his first lap of the night. Hamilton led all 200 laps last night at Martinsville. En route to his 6th victory of the season. We had 1 caution in that race as well. Hamilton's got to run. He's looking for the lead. Can't go any lower on the front stretch. Enters in a lot wider into turns 1 and 2, trying to arc the corner off in the middle. Travis Kvapil going to make it extremely hard here on Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton going to try to arc it into turns 3 and 4 again. A little loose off the exit of turn 4. Caution, back in the pack. Lap 7, that did not take long. Our first yellow of the night. It looked like there was trouble in turns 1 and 2. Oh, man, that was a pretty good lick into the outside wall. One truck gets hooked on the right rear. That was Chris Sweeney, it looks like. It's hard to tell if it was Richards in the 106 or Sweeney in the 192, one way or another. He gets right reared into the outside wall by another one of the generated fantasy drivers. Bringing out our first caution of the day on lap 7. Green flag back in the air. Waffle gets more laps led under the caution. Hamilton's going to nail the restart and jump to the inside into turn 1. Hamilton nails the restart. He's had a harder time on the intermediate tracks trying to nail the restarts, but on the short track here at Phoenix, he's able to get it done. And he's in the lead into turn 3, all clear. He had a hard time trying to get around Travis Kvapil before that. 5 bonus points now for Hamilton, leading his first lap of the day. So clean air for Hamilton. And that was maybe the caution he needed and made it a little bit easier to make his way around Kvapil. Now the only bad thing is the rest of the field is jumbled up in a pack back behind these guys. Ashton G. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream as well. Personally, I think Priest is going to get Eric Almirola's ride next season. As far as who gets Harvick's ride in 2024, assuming that he would end up retiring still then, which that kind of seems the way it's going to be going. That end of Harvick's contract's in 2023, at the end of the 2023 season. So yeah, as you mentioned, in 2024, who would take his ride? I think right now they're banking on Hailie Deegan. Will she be Cup ready by 2024? I don't think so. I really don't. Considering she's going into her second season of the trucks this year in 2022, even if she does improve and then makes the jump to Xfinity next year, I think she's going to need more than one season of Xfinity Series, even if she sets the world on fire in the Xfinity Series and wins 5 or 6 races, let's say, competes for a championship. I think she still needs to run another season of the Xfinity Series just for safe measure, and then up to Cup the following year. Personally, that's what I would do if I was the team owner, though at the same time, I know she brings in a lot of sponsorship, so that would probably help down the line, maybe getting into a Cup ride sooner. That's going to be up to her and her dad, it seems like. Her dad basically being, I guess, her agent in a sense. Possibly Riley Herbst. Riley Herbst has not done anything, though, to... And, I mean, really the same goes for Hailie Deegan, too. I mean, both her and Herbst have not shown any potential of Cup Series capability, at least with what they've done in their limited time in the Premier Series. I should say Herbst has had 2 full-time seasons in the Xfinity Series with good equipment. He hasn't won yet, so we've kind of got the ceiling for Riley Herbst potentially. I mean, you give him a third chance, and if he doesn't even win another race this season, I think you got to give up on Herbst. And Deegan has to show a decent amount of improvement, in my opinion, this year in the Truck Series if she's going to be a championship contender in the Cup Series, which is what you would want if you're on a top team. If you are Stewart-Haas Racing, you are still a top team in the NASCAR Cup Series. You're not going to go for drivers that aren't going to be championship caliber or deep playoff run caliber at the very least. I'd say deep playoff push caliber is what you need. Now I know they had Danica Patrick a little while back, but you would think that they would have learned from, a mistake of jumping the gun too early on somebody pushing them to Cup with Danica, that they wouldn't do it again with the same organization. You would think. At the end of the day, as I usually say, when it comes to this kind of stuff, money talks. And if one driver looks like he could be a future Hall of Famer but has zero sponsorship versus somebody that is but brings in a lot of sponsorship, the person that brings in a lot of sponsorship is likely going to get the ride, which is, maybe not fair. I don't think it should be that way. That just kind of seems the way it has really gone in the sport of NASCAR over the last 10 to 15 years. We'll see how it plays out. But those are my predictions on it. I mean, you got to figure who could possibly be a free agent at the end of 2024 as well, because NASCAR's pretty silent with how much money drivers are making and what exactly the contract is, how far it runs through. Some drivers we know, but some drivers we don't know. Who's to say there's going to be a hot free agent market in 2 years for the 2024 offseason? That maybe Stewart-Haas could nab somebody else who could be available at that time that is looking for another ride that is capable of filling in an extra spot at Stewart-Haas Racing. What if like Alex Bowman isn't with Hendrick Motorsports anymore and Stewart wants to pick him up because sponsorship runs dry for Bowman at Hendrick in 2 years? We don't know the outlook. It's just kind of so far down the road, and there's so much time in between for people to try to prove themselves that are trying to prove themselves, whether it's developmental or they're already in the Cup Series. And I think time will better dictate which way things seem to be heading. Ashton, you down in Daytona for testing, I'd assume? I think you mentioned something about it either last night or a couple nights ago. I was watching a little bit of it at lunch, but then I saw the 10-minute, 8 to 10 minute video that NASCAR put on their YouTube channel of the pack racing they had off one restart. They were getting pretty racy considering it was a test session. I was quite surprised. I don't think they were being aggressive enough as if they were racing for an actual race or racing for a win, obviously. But I think they were racing aggressively enough to get a feel for how things would actually go. There were some 3-wide moves for the lead. Denny Hamlin was aggressively bump drafting Joey Logano at one point, trying to bump draft him all the way around the track, and they seem to be able to lock bumpers pretty well for the most part. You probably can't hit a guy in the center of the corner. I haven't seen anybody do that yet, but if you lock on down the straightaway, it seems as if you could hold it in the middle of the corner, at least out in the front of the field. We don't know about the dirty air or being back in traffic, if the car is going to handle right if you try to bump draft all the way around the track like that for a lap. But at least with Logano having the clean air on his nose at the time of Hamlin pushing him, they were able to tandem at least a bit. Pretty fun. I feel like, especially with a facility that big, it'd be kind of weird being there with not a whole lot of fans. Especially at Daytona, when a month from now you're going to be seeing well over 100,000 people there on the same weekend. New number replacement is pretty cool in person. So, with that, as somebody who goes to races often, did you have a hard time trying to tell who was who out on the racetrack, number wise? Or if there were certain paint schemes that were maybe a little harder to tell who it might have been? I know they're test sessions, so that most of them weren't running their actual paint schemes they would be running, so it would probably be, I would imagine, a little bit harder during the test session to tell who they were at times, especially on a bigger track like Daytona, too. I feel like that's something I'm just going to have to get used to when I'm at the race in person. Hopefully I can adjust to it on the fly pretty quick. Weren't that many in the stands, but hundreds in the infield. It did seem like there were a decent amount of cars parked in the infield. I didn't know if that was a lot of the team, though, or if it was actual fans that were parked in there. Probably a mixture of both. A little bit difficult, but not that much. Yeah, maybe the paint schemes will pop a little bit better, though, when they actually get the full paint schemes on all the cars in the field instead of just a few of them. I noticed there were some drivers that had pretty much their legitimate paint schemes, but some of them not so much. It just had a couple logos slapped on it. And off they went with like a black car, essentially. Like, I think the 21 car had Motorcraft on the side of it, and then it had like a Ford logo on the front or something, or a smaller Motorcraft logo on the front, but it was just all black, and obviously had the number. It was pretty bare bones. Should be a one pit stop race today, even with that caution back on lap 7. We have been green ever since. A 27-lap green flag run currently. And Bobby Hamilton Sr. has led the most laps so far in the race today after qualifying second. He didn't get to the lead until lap 11 on that restart, but he's led every lap since. And has pulled away from all but one driver, which would be Travis Kvapil, the driver he took the lead away from on the restart. He's about a half a second ahead of Kvapil. Joey's car was easy to see. Brad Cave's was. I feel like the chrome number, though, would be kind of difficult to see, and I think that's part of why they didn't really have or allow chrome numbers. I think it's more for the spotters to be able to tell exactly who it may be, and obviously the officials in the towers as well, why they never allowed it. But I did kind of notice that, though, when I saw renders of the paint scheme and then the actual paint scheme debuted during Roush's big announcement a couple months back, that it did seem like if I was watching a day race at the track, maybe in certain shaded areas of the racetrack, that I feel like that would be kind of hard to see his car, at least the number on the car, especially with the placement too on top of it, not making it any easier. A bit smaller. Well, hang on just a second. Halfway on fuel for Bobby Hamilton, coming to lap 42 at the start-finish line. Considering we have 3 laps under the caution flag, it may be pretty close to a... It should still be a one-stop race. But they are going to have to really stretch this run about as far as they possibly can, and obviously cautions can dictate exactly how many stops could possibly be made as well. Nobody pitted during the first caution. It was too early in the race. Only had 7 laps on their tires. It wasn't going to be worth pitting, especially if you were at the front of the field losing and giving up a bunch of track position. So even if you take the 3 laps that were ran under the yellow out for the second run, if we went green to the end of the race, that would have been about 38 laps, full laps for Bobby Hamilton for half a tank. 38 times 2 is 76. Half of 150 is 75, so it's only 1 lap past the halfway mark. As far as the fuel window goes. So for most races that have been one-stoppers this year, I think if we see another caution, we're going to see a lot of drivers pit. And it'll probably end up being a 2-stop race for those drivers who will pit. Stay until 5:20. Surprised you're not staying for tomorrow. Or maybe you live in Florida and you're going back tomorrow. I really don't know. Let me know if you're going back again tomorrow. Travis Quaffles really ran Hamilton down over the last couple laps. Back to within a couple car lengths of the Ford truck. Hamilton's got a really fast race truck, all things considered. If we did get another caution, thing is he is the leader, so he's going to have to make his mind up pretty quick. And everybody else may do opposite of Bobby Hamilton. He is the most winningest driver this season. And if you're not one of the top 3 drivers in points, it's a pretty big cushion back to 4th place in points right now. If you want to keep yourselves in the championship hunt with 11 races to go, once the checkered flag flies tonight, might have to start thinking outside the box when it comes to the strategy play for each and every one of these races remaining. $100 laps to go at Phoenix, 50 laps complete. Right front tire starting to wear a little bit on the Ford truck of Hamilton at this point in the run. Into the yellow on the upper right-hand corner, as you just saw a couple seconds ago. Fastest lap for Hamilton so far is a 26.760. That last lap at the line was a 26.898. This lap at the line is a 26.832. So he's a little over a tenth of a second off, roughly, on about 50 lap old tires. He's hit the curb a few times. It hasn't really given him a huge bounce. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in this race tonight. Wasn't expecting there to be a lot of lead changes tonight. We've had 3 different leaders, but again, Hamilton's led every lap from lap 11 on, and Quaffle was actually able to pass Lester after Lester led the first few laps from the pole. Got around him. Hamilton basically followed Quaffle around Lester, dropping Lester back to 3rd at the time. I'm not sure if he's still in the top 3 or not. If he is, he's still nowhere near the top 2, who have just pulled away from the rest of the field. Still a lot of clean air out in front of Bobby Hamilton, and I don't believe anybody's blown an engine yet. I didn't see anybody blow an engine before the caution. Since the yellow, everybody that restarted is still at least on the racetrack. Nobody's in the pit lane right now. We've seen some pretty nasty crashes at Phoenix in this game, and it seems to be when drivers blow an engine and they're going into the dogleg and they get rained into hard from behind. We saw in the Chase for Rate season with Jimmy Johnson for the Cup Series side of things, that 3rd to last race of the year at Phoenix, a couple crashes, big crashes in the dogleg. One of which was because somebody blew an engine in that area of the racetrack. Our only caution tonight was in turns 1 and 2. Hamilton's really pulled away from Quaffle the last couple laps. Largest lead so far of 0.8 of a second, which isn't big. It's a lot more comfortable than what it has been so far tonight. Between the Modified Series clinching the championship 4 races early there and this season where Bobby Hamilton's led in points pretty much since race 5 on, even though he's still within 1 race worth of points ahead of Brandon Witt, Carl Edwards, because they're still finishing very, very well. Edwards has 10 straight top 5 finishes, 4 straight top 5s for Brandon Witt, but that includes 3 wins in that stretch. Not just 3 wins, but 3 match points days. Hamilton's only led the most laps in race 3 times this year. 2 of them he has won. And both those races he led the most laps and won the race were when he led all the laps. At Darlington, he led wire to wire, all 147, caution free. And then last night at Martinsville, he led all 200 laps, even with there being 1 yellow. Hasn't led every lap tonight. And if he goes on to lead the most, he's going to have to do something he has not done this year, which is lead the most laps and win the race. As long as somebody else will have led during the race, of course, which has been the case. And Lester and Quaffle have both led laps. This could be relying on the picture as well for Bobby Hamilton. They've only made 2 mistakes all year in the first 11 races. Pretty impressive, really. And one of the mistakes was at a pit stop. I can't remember what racetrack it was, but I remember we stayed out. We got the caution, trapped the field a lap down. So when I pitted, I was the only one in the pits, and they made a mistake there, but it didn't cost us any positions because we were the only one in the pit lane anyway. Everybody else was taking the wave around. You guys might have to remind me down in the chat what race that was. But that was one of the mistakes. They only really made a mistake in 1 race where they could have costed Hamilton the win, but he still ended up going on to win anyway. Got to make it to at least lap 76, though. Ideally, if he can make it a little bit beyond lap 76, it'd be a little more comfortable on fuel considering we had 1 caution already today, and if we go caution-free to the end, it could be close. We could see a fuel mileage race tonight. I don't really think we've seen a fuel mileage race at all this season through the first 11 races. Pretty cut, straightforward. Only had 1 caution-free race this year. Two. Sorry, 2 caution-free races. Darlington and Milwaukee. Stayed until 5:20. Is that about sunset down there, I'd assume? That's what it is here. It might be... Sunset might be a little sooner there. Especially this time of the year. Hamilton overdrives turn 1. Trying to get to the inside of the lap truck of Keith Grimsley. Hamilton had a 1.9 second lead. He lost 0.4 of a second in that corner alone with the mistake. Grimsley now trying to squeeze in. Oh no, he just blocked Hamilton into the inside wall. Hamilton must not have appreciated that. What was Grimsley thinking there? He's the last car on the racetrack, final car in the lead lap. Again, trying to hang on to the lead lap. Oh, he gets a little loose off the exit of turn 4. Hamilton got into the back of him. And Hamilton's 1.9 second lead is not only gone, but Travis Quaffle has closed in immensely. And Hamilton still cannot make his way around Grimsley. Quaffle again closes lap 72 at the line, and he is all over the back of the Ford truck. Green flag pit stops just opened up a couple laps ago. Got some lap trucks coming out of the pits. Going to have to be careful. Hamilton going to have to go to the outside, and now Grimsley throws a bad block again. Lap trucks all over the place, and Quaffle's going to go to the inside, and Travis Quaffle will take the lead at Phoenix. Lap traffic has held up Hamilton. The first he's had to deal with it all race long, and he loses the lead at a track that is very difficult to pass. They might give the lead back up as Quaffle nearly hits the curb in the dog leg. Jesus Manuel Ortiz, welcome to the stream. I'm doing great. Hopefully you are too. Hamilton trying to use the next lap truck as a pick if he can help it. Desperately trying to get to the inside. He is there. Contact! Contact between Quaffle and Hamilton. Quaffle will lead another lap. Hamilton sends it into turn 1. Has a big run. Quaffle with another block. Hamilton sends it into turn 3. Down to the apron, he slides. He overdrove the corner. Entered pretty flat that time. He was doing everything he could to get underneath the 24 truck. The 3 wide likely just was never going to work. Not at Phoenix, especially the old Phoenix. Hamilton beats Quaffle to the bottom into turn 3. At least it looked like he was going to. And Quaffle's got a pit, and that's how Hamilton will take the lead at lap 77. So Hamilton back in front, but that's only because Travis Quaffle pit. Hamilton going to take it one more lap. And he'll pit at lap 78. Just desperately trying to make sure he's going to have enough fuel to be able to make it to the end. Hamilton will pit this time off turn 4. 4 tires and fuel, no adjustments for the Ford truck. And we'll see who's going to cycle back into the lead, whether it will be Quaffle or Hamilton. Quaffle had the lead by about a car length when he pit, and he pit a lap before Hamilton. Hopefully no mistakes either, and it doesn't look like there's any mistakes made. There goes John Wood to the lead. Not sure if he's pit or not yet. John Wood has not pit, so Wood will get 5 bonus points for leading his first lap of the race. He's still on the racetrack just hoping for a caution. Lap 81 for John Wood. He's going to be in the best fuel situation right now. And everybody that pit laps even before Hamilton, they're that much less on fuel. Hamilton might be a few laps to the good, though. This could become a situation for sure by the end of this race. Wood will not pit this time off of turn 4 either. Hamilton wants to get by him in case we get a caution. Hamilton's not been able to really pass anybody very well all day, though Wood is on extremely old tires. Hamilton will clear him into turn 3. So Hamilton back on the lead lap. He's going to try to run down Travis Quaffle for second. John Wood pits this time off of turn 4. So he leads a few laps. Not sure how far ahead Quaffle is, but he definitely pulled Hamilton quite a bit. That was a really fast stop for the 24 team. Quaffle's got about a 1.5 second lead over Hamilton. Definitely Quaffle's largest lead of the race. Hamilton was only 4/1000ths of a second slower than his fastest lap of the race the last time by to the start-finish line, so he is hustling right now. Passes Richards cleaner than anybody really he's passed all day long, so that's going to help as well as Quaffle's struggling to get around the lap truck currently, and he's got another one right in front of him as well. I think he's working on Wesley Schmidt right now, and he clears him. Underneath another car as he's side-by-side into the dog leg. The lead is down to 1 second. And it looks like he'll clear Lee Anderson as well. Shane Kirkland in the 86 truck. 3 lap trucks now between the top 2. Hamilton's going to need Kirkland to move. He's got to get underneath Kirkland. Will contact. Kirkland into the wall. 1 truck in the pit lane right now, and I think that might be an unscheduled stop. That driver may have blown an engine. At least he was able to make his way into the pits. Can't tell who it is. Next truck up ahead of Hamilton is the race leader, Quaffle. Hamilton trying to loosen Quaffle up by just intimidating him. Quaffle on the inside of Adam Bell. Quaffle gets loose. Unfortunately, Hamilton ran right into the back of him, though. Luckily, Adam Bell never had any contact in the middle of that because that would have been bad for him. Trying to force Quaffle into a mistake. Quaffle got a bit loose in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and here comes Hamilton. Side drafted him in the dog leg. Hamilton intimidates Quaffle out of the way, and Hamilton is in the lead. To perfection, that one worked out. Lap 91, 60 to go at the line. Hamilton is back out in front. The good old intimidation button. A lot more lap traffic out in front of Hamilton still. Next truck is Billy Wilson in the 82. Hamilton closes on him. Bobby struggled with lap traffic when he has led tonight. It's already a donut mark on the inside of the 82 truck as it is. Steers clear, lets Hamilton go with these in 1 and 2. Sweeney, who was involved in the earlier caution, gets around Hank Grigsby. Hamilton down to the inside of Grigsby off of turn 4. Hamilton just tied his best lap of the race that last time by. Third Grigsby. Tries to close on Sweeney. Takes the dive into turn 3. Hamilton's clear off turn 4 on Sweeney. First spot down in the chat below. Thanks for taking care of that, Billy. Bobby Hamilton just clinched the most laps led at the start-finish line that time. It'll be 10 bonus points. Now the 4th time this season in the first 12 races that he has led the most laps in a race. But he's not led the most laps in a race in one unless he has led every lap. And he, again, has not led every lap in this one. He's led a lot of laps, but he hasn't led every lap. So he is trying to do something for the first time and break those trends. Still got 53 laps to go, though. Plenty of time left in this race for Quaffle to try and run down Hamilton. If Hamilton catches lap traffic in a bad spot like he did earlier. Especially as these tires start to get a little bit older to the end of the race. And also, don't forget that this could be a fuel mileage race for some drivers. I don't believe everybody's going to be able to make it on fuel to the end of the race. I do think Hamilton is good by a couple laps. I think he's probably 2 to 3 laps to the good. We also got to figure, though, if we get a caution, would he consider pitting? Track position has meant a lot here at Phoenix. It's been tough to pass all day long. You don't want to put yourself back in traffic. If we do get a late yellow, you're never going to know if you're going to actually be able to get back up and even challenge for the lead, let alone pass the leader, who has been the hardest truck to pass all night long. I think we've had about 5 lead changes today total, the 2 of which were because of green flag pit stops. Four different leaders total. Hamilton drives it to the inside of Scott Bush, clears him. Andy Lyman to his outside. Hasn't cleared him yet. Got Bob Spear right in front now. Gonna alternate through the different camera angles one more time in tonight's race. About the next 4 laps. 9 people currently watching this race tonight. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you are new. Definitely hit the like button whether you're new or not. Helps me out a ton. One truck blowing an engine on the inside of the racetrack, and that's Mark Handel in the 107, but he will make it into the pit lane and we stay green. At least the second driver now to blow an engine tonight. A lot of smoke pouring out of that 107 truck in the pits. Gonna have to bring out the fire truck. Hose it off. Oh, man. Hamilton a little wobbly getting into turn 3. Truck kind of took off on him there. Still got about a 9/10 of a second lead over Travis Quaffle. .44 to go as Hamilton closes on Jack Baker as the next lap truck. Baker going to give Hamilton quite a bit of room. Hamilton not clear yet. Should be able to get him down in turn 1. And does. We haven't seen as many late cautions over the last few races, at least. 3 straight races where we have not had extremely late yellows. We had a caution with 78 laps to go at Martinsville and just a 200-lap race, so that was the only caution of the night. We had 1 caution in this race at lap 7. We had 1 caution at Michigan, but it was at lap 6. And we had no cautions at Milwaukee, so that's, if you count tonight, 4 races. If we don't see another late yellow in this one, despite the fact that we had 6 late yellows in the first 8 races, and 6 cautions in the final 8 laps. Or sorry, 6 races in which we had a caution in the final 8 laps through the first 8 races of the season. But again, the last 3 have kind of broken those trends, where it seems like all the cautions come a lot earlier in the race, hence the one we had tonight. Maybe putting a little more pressure on wanting to qualify better. so you don't have to start back in the pack. Hamilton's been on the front row for 2 straight races. Qualified on the pole last night at Martinsville and qualified second tonight at Phoenix with Bill Lester getting his 3rd pole of the year. Hamilton's had 2 poles so far this season. He's tied for the 2nd most with Carl Edwards. It was a 3-way tie until Lester qualified on the pole again today. I want to see your guys' comments down in the chat below. Do you think we will see another caution before the end of this race tonight? That'll be our prediction question of the night. Still got 38 to go. And the laps do go by pretty quick here at Phoenix. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Michael thinks it's going to be a fuel mileage race. He thinks that we're not going to get a caution, I'm assuming. If we get a yellow, I'd have to imagine we're going to see some drivers pit. It's like somebody else is slow on the backstretch. Oh, contact into turn 1 up ahead. Chad Chafin getting knocked out of the way by whoever just made it to his inside. I believe we will have another truck pulling into the pit lane this time. Maybe nobody was slow. Maybe it was just something I thought I saw. Looked like I saw somebody lose a few positions in the dog leg when I was looking up at the track map. Michael thinks we are going green the rest of the way. And Billy's predicted a caution with 20 to go. Very precise from Billy. Hamilton again closes on his teammate Chad Chafin, looking to put him a lap down. Chafin going to go a bit wide off the exit of turn 2 and let his teammate underneath him. Hamilton's halfway on fuel with 33 laps to go. He should, again, be able to make it to the end, considering he had made his pit stop with 72 laps left. He came into the pits with 73 to go. He exited the pit lane with 72 laps to go. It may be a fuel mileage race for some other drivers. We saw pit stop start at about lap 70, 71. Those drivers are going to be really close. I'd assume they started pitting that early because the window was open for them, though. You'd have to imagine. But we're not entirely sure. And knowing that we have to go nearly a full fuel run to the end of the race, the tires will be pretty old. That's where we could see a yellow. It's tough to pass trucks, but on the restart, that's how Hamilton took the lead once earlier today. And if we have a restart with more than 10 to go, the lap trucks will be on the inside, which will cause a little bit more chaos, perhaps. Hamilton off the apron. I'll make contact with Benny Allen. He's outside. He's going to clear Allen off the exit of turn 4. 1.1 second lead with 27 to go. Largest lead of the race is 1.9 seconds for Hamilton. Really the largest lead for anybody in this race, unless it's been in the middle of green flag stops. But we saw John Wood stay out a couple laps longer than anybody else to lead a few laps. Get some bonus points. Can't blame him for it. Fastest lap of the race for Hamilton was still way back at the very beginning of the race. It was a couple laps after he had taken the lead on the lap 11 restart. We are well over 100 laps into this current green flag run. Drivers perhaps maybe getting a little tired. Even in a truck race, the fatigue could be starting to set in right now. Welcome back, Ashton. Waffle's trying to close in as much as he can. The interval hasn't shrunken or grown at all in the last 6 laps. Right at 1.1 seconds at the start-finish line nearly every time they make it back around. I don't think there's a single lap truck between the top two right now either. One-on-one, but there is a couple lap trucks that Hamilton will be closing in on very soon, and they're side by side and battling each other in turns 1 and 2. That's Barry Wilder and Ace Johnson. A couple of generated rookie drivers, fantasy drivers. Wilder has cleared Johnson off of turn 4. Hamilton's still not there yet. Hamilton 0.2 of a second faster than Quaffle that last lap. 21 to go. Bit of dirty air in front of the 4 now. Johnson still trying to battle Wilder back. Not quite going to get to the inside of him that time in turns 3 and 4. Hamilton a bit tight. Center off that time. 20 to go. He definitely wants to get around these guys as quick as he can. Johnson going to go a bit wide off the exit of turn 2. Hamilton to the bottom. Hamilton off the curb. Keeps it off of Johnson, luckily. Drives it in deep. Will clear Johnson. Barry Wilder. Not giving him a lot of room. Hamilton hooking the yellow line on the inside. 19 to go at the line. 1.5 second lead. And Hamilton has cleared Wilder off of turn 2. Here we go. There's a lot more lap traffic stacking up down the backstretch right now, and I wonder if Hamilton's going to be able to catch those guys before the end of the race. You can even look at the track map on the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and you can just tell how much lap traffic there will be to the end of the race for Bobby Hamilton, so it is nothing but easy to the finish. He's got a comfortable lead, but it's not a gigantic lead at the same time. 1.6 seconds off of turn 2. You can predict like a Larry Mack. According to the trends, Cerebral Assassin, I see your eyes in the chat. Troy Perry's the next lap truck ahead of Hamilton. Perry's by himself, but then everybody ahead of Perry, not so much. Hamilton drives it deep into turn 3, maybe a little too deep. Hamilton to the inside of Perry. Gonna make the pass in turns 3 and 4. Keith Grimsley, Robbie Young, Matt Kraft, and next 3 lap trucks. Quarter of a tank of fuel left for Hamilton, 13 to go at the line. Again, he should be a few laps to the good on fuel. Well, then again, we could end up going into a green-white checker finish, too. Then the fuel situation would be really tight if that happened for Hamilton's sake. He's definitely a few laps to the good. But if we have to run a few laps under caution and have some extra laps to the end, that could be a difference maker. Hamilton just ran his fastest lap of the race that last time by. He's 3 wide with the lap traffic into the dogleg. He gets squeezed by Grimsley. Contact is made between the 4 and the 119. But Hamilton's going to get through, and he clears Robbie Young off of turn 4 as well. 11 to go. That was definitely a little risky. Robbie Young way up the racetrack as he overdrives turn 1, and Grimsley gets around him. A lot more lap traffic where that came from to the end of the race. Two-second lead now for Hamilton. 2 lap trucks between the top 2, 10 to go. Matt Kraft and John Wood and Doug Thompson, the next 3 lap trucks. Crafton giving Hamilton a lot of leeway. Easy pass that time for Hamilton. And the countdown's to 9 laps to go. Crafton in the wall off turn 4, but he keeps it going. Got a bit tight when the Ford truck pulled in front of him and cleared him in the middle of the corner. Hamilton gets around Thompson. And now Thompson's in the wall off turn 4. Everybody's overdriving the corners with 8 to go. Hamilton just wants it to stay green. We're at the trend mark now, 8 to go or less. Hamilton's pushing hard. He just wants to get to the white flag. John Wood going to throw a bit of a block into turn 3. 2.2 seconds. Hamilton lost the 10 to Quaffle. Actually, it seemed like he got it back off turn 4. Pretty even that last lap with Quaffle. Hamilton inside of Wood. Wood not going to be able to get back to the inside of Hamilton, so Wood is now the first truck 1 lap down. Still pretty even with Quaffle and Hamilton the last lap as they're both working through lap traffic with 6 laps left. One attempt at a green-white checker finish in the truck series in this game. on this 2004 custom schedule season. Five to go at the line for Hamilton. 5 more miles to get the checkered flag tonight. We've had 2 green-white checkers this year as well. Watkins Glen and Las Vegas were the 2 races that we had the green-white checkers. Hamilton underneath Aaron McGee. Casey Cook in the 177 truck. He's not an ally of Hamilton. He's neutral, though. Cook with a bit of a block. Hamilton gets into his left rear just a tad. 1/8 of a tank of fuel left. 3 to go. As long as we don't get a caution, Hamilton's going to be good on fuel. If we get a caution now, we're definitely going past the scheduled distance. More contact with Casey Cook. It was a 2.5 second lead. It's down to about 2.3. More contact with Cook. My goodness. Third straight corner, Hamilton and Cook have made a little bit of contact with one another. 2 to go. Hamilton to the inside of Wesley Schmidt. Clears Schmidt. I don't think Hamilton's going to catch another lap truck the rest of the night. Checkered flag in the air. Or sorry, white flag, sorry. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go at Phoenix. And we are going to finish this race on a 139-lap green flag run. Somebody also just blew an engine that last lap, but he didn't make it into the pit lane unscathed, which led us to the white flag. And now the checkered flag will wave this time off turn 4. Bobby Hamilton Sr. will win back-to-back his 7th win of the year as he wins the Chevy Silverado 150. I almost missed the burnout. That was close. I almost missed it. Big time win for Bobby Hamilton. Take a look at the top finishers in tonight's race at Phoenix before we get out of here. 1 hour, 11 minutes total time of tonight's race. 9 lead changes with 1 caution for 3 caution laps. 126.58 miles per hour was the average speed. Margin of victory, 2.9 seconds. Goffel lost like 0.6 of a second there over the last 2 laps. I don't know if he got slown up because of that lap truck that blew an engine and made it into the pit lane. Maybe he checked up in 3 and 4 coming to the white flag. Whatever the case was, Hamilton pulled him a bit at the end. Hamilton has led all but 24 laps in the last 2 races combined. Of course, leading every lap at Martinsville last night and leading all but 24 tonight. 126 of the 150 laps led. Goffel led 17, finishes 2nd after qualifying 3rd. Hamilton again also qualifying 2nd. Carl Edwards finishes 3rd. That is another consecutive top 5 for Edwards. Make that 11 straight top 5 finishes for cousin Carl. The only race he did not finish in the top 5 was a season opener at Daytona. Bill Lester finishes 4th after DNF last night. Also started on the pole and led 3 laps. Brandon Witt rounds out the top 5, 6 straight top 5s for him. Ryan Carter finishes 6th. Larry Watson 7th. Jack Sprague 8th. He was the last truck on the lead lap. Casey Cook, first truck a lap down to 9th. And Aaron McGee rounds out the top 10. John Wood led 4 laps during the green flag pit stops. And I think he was the only other driver that led laps in today's race. We only have 4 different leaders. Jason Powell, Mark Handel blew engines. Lee Anderson also blew an engine there with a couple laps to go, so he finished 3 laps down, therefore making the 3 DNFs. Well, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I will see you guys again tomorrow night, but it will be in the chat. Uh, as long as I can get the editing and the process is out of my hands. But if I can get the editing done when I get home from work tomorrow, and then hopefully get it uploaded by tomorrow night, plan on a premiere at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. NASCAR 21 Ignition, 7500 at Darlington. If I can't get that, we'll end up. I'll figure something out, but we'll hope for the best. Hopefully, I can get that done. And I'll be working on it as hard as I possibly can. I might have to bring my laptop to work. I know my Wi-Fi is not great there. I don't even know if I can really do anything there with trying to get the processing done on YouTube. So it's weird. Sometimes processing takes like 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes a couple hours on my videos. It just really depends. So we'll hope for the best. Play it on 8 p.m. tomorrow night, though. And I will see you guys in the chat for that one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you tomorrow night.